They say the easiest jobs are the ones that seem too good to be true. And sometimes they are. My name's Leela. I was 19 when I got the job. It was simple. Watch the Petersons' 6-year-old son, Jamie, for one night while they went to a charity event. $200 for 6 hours. No chores, no bedtime stories, no late-night snacks. Just make sure he's safe and asleep. Easy money. At least, that's what I thought. The house was out on the edge of town, tucked behind a long gravel road and surrounded by trees. It wasn't creepy at first, just quiet. Too quiet. When Mrs. Peterson answered the door, she was all smiles but seemed rushed, her eyes darting behind me like she was in a hurry to leave. Her husband barely said a word. He just handed me the cash up front, looked me dead in the eye, and said, "Don't let him stay up past 9. And whatever you do, don't open the basement door." He said it so calmly, like it was the most normal rule in the world. I laughed a little, waiting for the punchline. But he didn't laugh back. They left in a hurry. Their taillights disappeared into the trees, and suddenly, the only sound left was the soft ticking of the old grandfather clock in the hallway. Jamie was quiet for a kid. He had these big, glassy eyes that didn't blink much, and when I asked what he wanted to do, he just shrugged. We watched cartoons for a while, until he started getting sleepy around 8. When I tucked him in, he grabbed my wrist and whispered, "If they knock twice, don't open the door." I froze. "Who?" I asked. He just shook his head and turned toward the wall. The rest of the house felt bigger once he was asleep. Every sound echoed. The wind pressed against the windows. And from the kitchen, I could hear the hum of the refrigerator like a steady heartbeat. I scrolled on my phone for a bit, then got up to grab a drink. That's when I heard it. 2 knocks. Not loud. Not forceful. Just deliberate. I peeked toward the front door. The porch light flickered, casting long shadows across the entryway. But there was no one there. I waited. Nothing. Probably just the wind, I told myself. Or maybe some neighborhood kid playing a prank. I went back to the couch, but I couldn't shake the sound. It wasn't random. It was timed. Measured. Human. A few minutes later, I heard soft footsteps upstairs. I figured Jamie had woken up, so I went to check. His room was empty. The bed covers were still tucked in perfectly, but the window was open. Cold air swept through the room, and for the first time, I noticed something I hadn't before. Small handprints on the glass. Not just inside, but outside too. I shut the window, locked it, and turned around, only to hear the basement door creak open downstairs. My chest tightened. The parents' warning echoed in my head. "Whatever you do, don't open the basement door." I tiptoed down the hall and peeked around the corner. The basement light was on. The door stood open a few inches, just enough for me to see the stairs descending into darkness. Then came the whisper. Faint female. "Leela." I froze. No one here knew my name. The whisper came again, closer this time. "Leela, come downstairs." My hands shook as I reached for my phone. No signal. Of course. I backed away slowly, keeping my eyes on the door. Then, it slammed shut. The entire house fell silent again. I ran upstairs, bursting into Jamie's room. He was back in bed, eyes open, staring at the ceiling. I asked, "Did you open the basement door?" He blinked once and said, "She wanted to come out." My throat went dry. "Who?" I whispered. He turned his head slowly toward me, his voice flat. "The woman who lives in the dark." The lights flickered. For a moment, I thought I saw movement under the crack of the bedroom door, like someone walking slowly down the hall. Then came the knocking again. But this time, it came from inside the house. I grabbed Jamie's hand, pulled him from the bed, and we hid in the closet. He started crying silently, whispering over and over. She doesn't like when you hear her name. Something dragged across the floor outside. A slow scrape, like fingernails against wood. Then, a voice from just beyond the door. Soft, almost playful. "Why did you lock me in the basement, Leela?" My heart pounded so loud I could barely breathe. Jamie was shaking uncontrollably, pressing his face into my arm. I didn't answer. The footsteps stopped right outside the closet. 2 knocks on the closet door. I covered Jamie's mouth, holding my breath. The silence stretched on for what felt like hours. Then, a giggle, a childlike laugh echoing through the house. When I finally gathered the courage to open the door, the hallway was empty. But muddy footprints led from the basement stairs all the way to Jamie's room. And then back down again. I grabbed my bag, my phone, and Jamie, and ran outside. We didn't stop running until we reached the Petersons' driveway. Their car was gone. That's when I saw her. A figure standing in the upstairs window, watching us. A pale woman with long dark hair, smiling faintly. Her head tilted as if she recognized me. Then she raised her hand and waved. The Petersons came home just before dawn. They looked tired but calm, like nothing had happened. When I told them what I saw, they exchanged this look I'll never forget. Part guilt, part fear. Mrs. Peterson finally said, "You weren't supposed to see her. Jamie promised he wouldn't let her out." I stared at her speechless. She just smiled softly and said, "We'll pay you double if you don't tell anyone." I quit that night, blocked their number, never went back. But every so often, I still hear it. 2 knocks on my apartment wall. Always at 9 p.m. Always after I turn off the lights. And sometimes, when I check the peephole, there's no one there. Just the faint sound of breathing. On the other side. If you're watching this, remember, some jobs aren't worth the money. And when someone tells you not to open a door, listen. Because once you do, you might not be the only one left in the house.